We need to take that same kind of mindset with our clients. We need to be assessing them throughout their journey with us to make sure they're fully supported, not just create a course and say, hey, everybody buy my stuff. Look what I made. Look how amazing it is. Make sure that they understand it. Make sure that they're clear on what they are learning. Make sure that they are clear on what's required before you purchase this. The Making Business Effortless podcast, a podcast for online service-based providers and coaches who want to grow a fully booked and effortless business. Check show notes, add the Making Business Effortless podcast to your follow list, and join the Effortlessly Booked community for deeper support and services supporting you in your journey to an effortlessly booked business. The coaching industry has failed you, but not entirely on purpose. Now, here's why. In the online service-based industry, we have a wide variety of services provided solely online. But the lie we've been told about the need for a fully developed program before we can sell it is the reason why we end up chasing our tail, wondering how to communicate our services. Why we have clients who are unwilling or simply not a fit for our services. They just seem uncoachable, or you just can't get them into momentum. It's also another reason why, and I'll tell you in a minute what it is, why we second guess our pricing and how to deliver our services, because we don't have clarity about one thing: how our clients understand the problem we solve for them and the value they place on the solution they seek. So what happens many times, for example, is in the coaching industry, we have people making claims about results that can be made, but they are not being clear about where you need to be in order to receive that type of result. And in an effort to improve our messaging, we need to be clear about who it's for, yes, and the problem that you're solving, the transformation and all that, but you also need to be clear about how your services are delivered, as well as how you provide those services to your client. What is it that you do that makes them feel supported? And many times what we don't have is clarity on that. And so what happens is we go out and we try to make a program before we get out there and sell it. We go and we do the market research, and we create, some sort of program. And then we get out there and we start selling it, when that's really ass backwards. Pardon my French, but it's ass backwards. So let me give you a little example. I have a background in curriculum and instruction, and I worked with teachers, and I consulted teachers because their main question was, I have this particular piece in my lesson plans, this one struggle that I'm having with my students to help them learn this particular concept. And there's a hole there in their learning. And this is what is happening with the online coaching industry, is we have holes in our learning about the understanding of how to build a sustainable business. So going back to the teacher analogy, this is where we get into pre-assessment, ongoing assessments, and final assessments. This is kind of like your market research, but notice that the way teachers evaluate how they are teaching their students, which is essentially how we are delivering our services to our clients, they check on these students before they start the lesson planning. They say, where are they right now? And how can I get them from here to where I need them to be? So that's part of the problem with online courses, is they make a big promise that is not sustainable to do it in that way over time, because it's way too many things to juggle at once, especially for those in the first 1 to 3 years of business. It's just not sustainable. We have coaches out there with consistent bookings, and they don't have time to breathe. And we want our business to be something that is comfortable for us, something that doesn't create pressure, something that doesn't add to the chaos, right? So teachers are really smart in this way because of the way that they do a lesson plan, the way that they assess the current situation with the students that they have in the moment. This goes back to our market research. But there is a way to do market research and sell your services so you can continue understanding the full journey of your clients with you, from the time that they learn about your services, to the time that they sit in with you on a sales call, to the time that they enroll in your services, and perhaps to the time that they continue to work with you. And or when they decide, when either one of you decide that the journey is over, and that's perfectly okay. But you need to understand what that looks like. And we have difficulty with that because we want to know, what is our program? What are we teaching? We know all of it's in here. It's all in here in our head, but we don't know how to get it out here so that it can create results and carry somebody from point A to point B in a successful way. We have all the knowledge under the sun. We know how to get them there. It's just, how do we put it all together in a program that's cohesive? So the biggest way that you can do that is to get out there and tell people to hop on a call with you. And that can be a strategy call, which is basically a 30-minute free call where you sit in, you ask questions about that person's current situation in regards to the problem that you solved for them. You find out right then and there at what stage in that person's journey, in your ideal client's journey, what stage are your services ready for them? So for example, I've had people come to me about Facebook ads, and they were nowhere near ready. And I straight up said, you're not ready. You are not ready. I am not going to teach you ads. I'm not going to do it. You're not ready. And in one particular case, because the person had given me money, and this is how I learned from my own mistakes, but he gave me money. I didn't just go, oh, well, you're not a fit for it. Good luck with that, and take his money. I didn't do that. I said, okay, I will help you get ready to run ads. Because he had bought a digital course. I wasn't delivering my services properly at that time because I should have been doing one-on-ones with people to find out exactly where they need to be in order to have Facebook ads run appropriately for their business, optimized for their business. They have to be set up a certain way, and you have to understand your clientele. Now, this particular person did have a lot of knowledge, and he happened to be a teacher. And the thing about it is that he pre-assessed everybody that came to him for his services. He's now a consultant and telling people how to do his process for teaching people how to speak English, basically. And he pre-assessed them, and they would come to him and say, how long would it take me to reach this level of English? And he would be able to tell them. And eventually he was able to develop services that not only addressed his original group that he had, which were much higher than most of the people coming to him, but he was able to develop a full suite of services while still maintaining, I sell this. He didn't have to change his message much at all around what he was selling. And that was the thing. He didn't have to have a program completely mapped out. He just knew the problem that he was solving, and he had already gotten in there and talked with so many of his students before that he knew exactly what he was offering them and how much he could cover in a specific amount of time due to the assessments they had been doing on his students. We need to take that same kind of mindset with our clients. We need to be assessing them throughout their journey with us to make sure they're fully supported, not just create a course and say, hey, everybody buy my stuff. Look what I made. Look how amazing it is. Make sure that they understand it. Make sure that they're clear on what they are learning. Make sure that they are clear on what's required before you purchase this. All right. And there are different ways to deliver your services and things like that. But one of the ways to kind of get an idea of what your services are, I'm going to walk you through it, of what your program is or could be. So you can kind of brainstorm on this. You sit down and you figure out the proper order. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that I did this with the teachers that I worked with in developing lesson plans that addressed the issues that their students were coming across, the obstacles that were slowing them down in their learning. Work backwards. Start with your problem. You have an idea of where your clients need to be for the program. So have that idea. Where do they need to be in order to start your services? Okay. And you may not have clarity on that, but that's okay. For now, just think about what kind of mindset they have. Are they open to your services? Are they willing to talk about certain aspects of their lives? Because that's what helps you deliver those services. So think about those things about your client and write those down, put it on a Post-it note and stick it on your computer so you remember what your ideal client, who they are when they come to you for your services. What is their mindset around the problem that you solve? Okay. You become better about it if you work a little bit backwards. You start learning about how they speak about your problems when you get in connection with them. You start learning the correct questions to ask to discover whether or not that person is a fit for your services when you're doing these strategy calls. So that's most important, but work backwards from the problem that you solve and ask yourself, what are the 3 obstacles with that problem? And what are the 3 transformations that happen once we overcome those 3 obstacles? And after you write down those 3 transformations, what are the things that you do to make those transformations happen? Now, that's the beginning of outlining a fully blown program, but it gets you on your way to understanding how to communicate your services and get a little idea of how long your program is, and maybe even a little bit more clarity about your pricing, as well as how to reveal that value to the people that you're talking to and inviting to learn more about your services. Okay, so that's, if you're still not clear and you start asking your audience questions first, go out there and ask them some questions. Hey, I have an idea about something. Can you give me a little bit of clarity? What do you think about this? Or what are your obstacles with blah? Just ask them straight up, simple, basic question. That'll lead to more questions that you could ask later on and get a little deeper with it. Or you could simply invite them on a strategy call. And if you do a strategy call well, if you do it well, they will ask you how much your services are. And the thing is that inside the Effortlessly Booked community, we have the 5-module free mini course, which covers all of this. It helps you really understand what your offer is so you can get out there and tell people about it. You have more clarity about how long it is, how much it costs, all the little nuts and bolts, as well as the beautiful transformation that you're providing when you solve this particular solution for your clients, right? So that is the main goal of it. You work backwards from the problem and you discover what the transformation is, and then write down how you create that transformation inside your services. But if you're unclear on your audience's current needs and pain points, as well as an idea of the problem you solve, then the Effortlessly Booked mini course is a good place to start. It's going on right now. It's a free mini course. It's 5 modules. And it helps you gain more clarity around your offer while also giving you a roadmap for the delivery of your services and a schedule that you can implement these tasks in a very sustainable and joy-filled way. So join the Effortlessly Booked community. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And let me know in the comments what's your biggest takeaway. This has been the Making Business Effortless podcast, a podcast for online service-based providers and coaches who want to grow a fully booked and effortless business. Check show notes, add the Making Business Effortless podcast to your follow list, and join the Effortlessly Booked community for deeper support and services supporting you in your journey to an effortlessly booked business.